Hi all, I've got another card for you today, and this is what I'm calling my paper weaving card. And so as you can see, there's this woven pattern up the spine of the card. We have a mock cameo on the front that's all raised on mounting tape. The die I used has a die for this section and a die for that section. But you could use any plain oval die, or you could use a square or a round die. It wouldn't matter. And then I've put some paper inside too, along the spine, so you can see this shows up. But you could also just cut that short there before you get to the lattice and make it see-through, and it would look just as nice. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got to do today. First of all, we have a standard card, and you fold that card in half and score it with use something to give yourself a nice sharp fold down the spine. Now, what I've done is I have this, which I've downloaded off the internet. Barbstamps.com has this as a free downloadable, and this helps you cut your card. So I've already used this once. Now it's disposable. You're not going to use it over and over again, so you know, keep an original copy so that you can print more when you need them. And you cut down that straight line there. These scissors aren't cutting right for some reason. Keep going off the edge. Cut exactly down that line. Now, you can use paper clips or bulldog clips, but what I've done is, this is the top of the card. The lines are facing downwards on the spine, and I'm just going to paper clip, or I'm actually going to use a little bulldog clip to keep that in place while I'm cutting, so I don't have to try and hold it in place while I'm cutting. And I'm just going to cut exactly on each line and stop where the line stops. So just be very accurate with this as much as you can. You just get that out of the road so that it doesn't hit on the metal bulldog clip. Now you can take that off. This gets in the bin, and we open this out ready to do our folding. Now what you do is you start at the top and you fold down, and you want this, if you have a look there, see that line there? It has to be even with that line. It has to run along that line when you turn it over. So what we're doing is we're folding it over, and I don't want it, when you fold it down, you'll find it'll almost reach the tip of one of the other, see this tip here? Don't go past that tip, because there'll be an open space like that, and you don't want this sticking through. So just stop it short of that tip and get your fold level, and then leave this one and go to the next one. So every second one down the line, and just make sure that fold line is on there and this doesn't go past that tip when you're folding. Now see, this one goes right off the edge, but just make sure still that that fold line is in line with that fold line when you fold it. Now then, what I would do is I'd come back here and I'll score each of these. I should have started at that end really. Score each of these to make sure that they've got a good sharp fold. Now then, the other thing is you don't want this coming off the end here, so you're now going to have to cut this along that fold line, but it's very hard to get it exact on the fold line. You actually get it a little bit above. So what you do is, with whatever you've been scoring with, push whatever little flap there is left back up. Now what we're going to do is just pop these underneath the one below. Pop it in like that. Okay, so they're all like that. And now this other one that we cut off, we're going to pop it in under this one. So we've just got to put a bit of glue on each end there, not on the whole thing, but just on each end. I'm just getting my glue ready. So we just put a little bit on each end. Pop that under there and make sure that's sitting nice and straight there. And that's all you had to do to get that to happen. So quite an easy way to get that nice paper weave. Now, once that's, and I'm giving it a couple of minutes to dry, so while I'm waiting for it to dry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this to the front of the card. There, and get it in the center so that there's a nice even border all the way around. Okay, and now I have this pretty thing too. Now, just a little trick that I'd like you to know about is, when you're popping these bits out, don't use a prick or a sharp end, because it damages the paper, and sometimes you're hitting this and not that. So I just use a rounded end instrument to pop it out, and you know, these come quite fine, so you can get a fine, but that just protects this paper from getting sharp objects digging holes in it. Now what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue in the middle, and I'm not going to put much out here because I put too much on the other one, and this, because it's glossy accents, you can see the gloss on the paper where it's overstepped the mark, and I don't want it to look that glossy. I don't want a shiny patches where there shouldn't be anything. So you just get this roughly in the middle and then press it down. Now that's popping up at that end, so I'm just going to add a little bit more glue. Now what you could do, if you wanted to get it really tiny, is put it on the end of a needle, so you know you're only getting a really tiny bit there. Okay, not enough. Okay, let's try again. Okay, but just the slightest little dabs. Now, there. Okay, I'm not going to keep sticking all those little bits down. You know, I've shown you how to do it. Now, we have this decorative piece that goes on the front, and what I've done is I cut that oval out, and then I put it through a 3D embossing folder. But before I put it through the 3D folder, I turned it over and I sprayed it with water, so you can get that really, see how deep that has gone on there. Now if you do that without spraying the paper with water and it's very stiff, it will crack, and you don't want your paper to crack. So I sprayed it with water and put it through the 3D folder to get this 3D effect. But then I had to wait for it to dry. Once I've got it dry, I'm going to get this nice white effect. See that? On the raised bits, like a cameo effect. And I'm using Memento Luxe. The reason I'm using Memento Luxe is because it's a very thick consistency that and it dries slowly, and it dries on the surface, it doesn't soak in. So therefore it will coat a dark color. Whereas some of your dye inks soak in, they won't coat a dark color. So, and then you just gently go over the raised sections. It's only the raised bits that you want to have color on it. You don't want the background to have color, the sunken bits. And you just keep working on it until you're happy with how much white is on there. I'm not keep going in there because you get too much ink. I'm dabbing it off and just giving it not as much ink to work slowly with this, so that I can I have control over what I'm putting on here. Now you'll find too with a 3D die, different parts of this are at different heights. So you know, I would make the higher ones whiter, or the higher sections whiter than the lower sections, so that it looks like it's in sunshine and in shade. Okay, I'm happy with that. Make sure when you finish that you get a paper towel and wipe off any of this that's left on your mat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use mounting tape and mount this in the middle here. Much easier than using glue, because with the high and low bits, the glue doesn't might sink into the low bits and it won't touch the paper, whereas with your mounting tape, all the mounting tape will touch the paper because it's all sitting at the same height above the raised bits. Might put one more bit in the middle there, just so if it was put in a card it would not squash down. And then just take your paper off. And this can go, you decide which way you want it to go, up or down. I'm going to use a pair of tweezers to hold this so I can get this in the exact position that I want it. There we are. Okay, now I'm going to fold this. Now that should be dry, so what I'm going to do is recrease all this and get something to redefine those creases along the edge. Now that's already a pretty card on its own with a white center. You could leave it there if you wanted to, but the other thing you could do is get a piece like this and stick it in there, and then you've got your colored flap down the side. But then you need white, so you would put another white piece in here. Now what I'm going to do, I've cut this a little bit long, so I'll put that, and I'm only going to leave a small edge along there. I'll just cut that to the exact length I want it. Glue this on here. So that I've now got, and probably about roughly a centimetre in from the edge. just approximate. There. And then what we do is we glue this. Oh, now that's what we've got to not do. Don't put glue down this edge. In fact, have a look at that. If you sit that there like that, you can see where your glue should go to. And keep the glue in here. Like that. Now, what you can do is, look what I've done. I've really well and truly messed that up. Well, this is how you fix it. This will go to the back anyway. Let's have a look at this again. I should have had this round that way, and the glue should have been going over here. Alright. Judy screwed up. There we are. Now, put this in like this. Okay. There it is. There it is. And there's your card. How's that? Nice? Very pretty. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Good luck with your card. Talk to you next time. Bye.